What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? I guess it was more of a bribe than a tradition, but my parents would let us open one present on Christmas Eve, after we got back from midnight mass. If you wanted to get a seat you had to get to church about 45 minutes early. So, we would have to be on our best behavior for 2 hours way past our bedtime and usually hopped up on Christmas excitement/candy. Tier 4. After we finish our traditional feast, we go outside with sparklers and wait for Santa, our parents, to hide the presents. It's a thing we started doing one day and kept going. Smile. When we were kids, pretending to be shepherds in the fields on Christmas Eve. We would choose shepherd names, wear blankets as headdresses, turn out the lights and camp in the living room, eating sandwiches and conversing about our long days of misadventures herding sheep. When this had gone on for half an hour or so, Mom would turn on all the lights, angels, and we would have to act terrified. Then we'd go look for baby Jesus. Not sure how interesting it is, but buy beer, watch Die Hard on TV since there's always 3 channel that play it and get smashed with my brother lol. My family has always made a German meal on Christmas Day every year, dating back to my great-grandparents. We make us our braten that marinates for 4 days prior with a ginger snap-based gravy, potato dumplings, and a red cabbage salad with chestnuts. Potato dumpling pancakes with the leftovers for breakfast the next morning. It's a lot of work but damn delicious. I'm at a point in my life where I'm deciding which traditions to keep for my own and which to ditch, and what new traditions I can establish. This is one I will keep. I am from Austria and especially in the rural areas there are some awesome and for outsiders strange traditions. Like in my little town, on December 28th, the Day of the Innocent Children. A Bible reference, the unmarried men go from house to house. Make horrible noise, they fill canisters with stones and shake them, scream, firecrackers, and they also have an old hand siren. They wish a happy new year and ask for money and food. They usually get beer and schnapps. It is like an adult version of trick or treat. This starts usually at 6 p.m. and goes on until the morning. Now this is a very local tradition and people who moved into town usually don't know it and call the cops. But they of course know the tradition and are cool with it. In the US I guess you could be killed for that. Listening to the same album of Christmas songs while decorating the house and the Christmas tree. Everyone has their own things to do. For example, my father is the only one to put the star on the top of the tree. We put a pickle on the tree and the first one to find it got to go first in opening presents. Eating tamales. For a while my parents were against traditional Christmas dinner. We would purposely make tacos or lasagna and use my mom's fanciest plates and silverware. We'd put chocolate milk in wine glasses. It was our traditional anti-tradition. I think it started because each of us liked different Christmas foods and my mom was tired of cooking a huge meal to suit everyone's tastes. I replayed The Last of Us, first one. I don't know why it been a tradition for me, but every year during the holiday, I make sure I replace The Last of Us. I just love the soothing sound, play and story. My grandmother is amazing at needlepoint and she would make each child in the family a stocking when they were born and hang it on her mantle. When we came to visit, she would put a sweet note about us in it with the year and then gave them to us as adults. DDD. This started with my grandparents. So on back in the 1970s my grandparents would do everything on Christmas Eve. Buy the presents, get the tree and decorate it, and go to mass. So because they were so busy they never wanted to cook a big meal. They had 5 kids. So they would always buy Chinese food because it was the only place that was open on Christmas Eve. My parents don't do everything on Christmas Eve but we still get Chinese food every time. One of our old traditions is we watch a lot of the Christmas classics. We have this ancient VHS tape that we recorded all the TV specials, Mickey Christmas Carol, Charlie Brown, The Grinch, Frosty and many more. Plus 90s commercials. We have watched that taped every year for over 25 years. I usually wrap my presents Christmas Eve. I have a specific set of movies to watch while I wrap. In order, it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Nightmare Before Christmas, Little Nemo, then if I'm still not done 2001, Space Odyssey, cause it's late by then and I'll probably fall asleep before finishing it. I take pride in my wrapping. Neatly done with ribbons, bows, tags etc, all labeled from Santa, so it takes a bit. Hiding the pickle ornament in the Christmas tree. Whoever found the ornament got to open their present first. Every year after Christmas dinner we put the dessert in the center of the table, surrounded by 1 sugar cube per person that is there. Then we douse them in lemon juice, light them on fire, and sing happy birthday to Jesus. Then we sit there and watch them go out. This year we accidentally set the table on fire, grimacing face. Me and my family every Christmas will have this find the pickle in the tree on Christmas Day. It was mostly my mom, but they would hide the pickle in Christmas Eve, and Christmas morning me and my sister would have to find it. Whenever someone found it, my mom would have a surprise for them, and one time when I found it I got $100 and some gum, and of course me being around 8 at the time I decided to spend it on Hot Wheels and Legos. Every year for the past 5 years I keep giving my sister the same ridiculous Harlequin romance novel. This year, since we won't be together to celebrate, I'll be mailing it. Let's see her forget it at my place this time. Probably not interesting, but we always had Christmas pajamas. We would all have some relatively matching sets. Chinese food takeout on Christmas Eve. I have a hunch a lot of people do this because it's usually the only type of restaurant open on Christmas Eve, but we've fallen into doing it annually. Where I live, a local seafood place is open for the 36 hours in the lead up 1700 Christmas Eve. My other half and I and our neighbors tend to have a few drinks and go get seafood at 0300 for our champagne brekkie mid-morning Christmas Eve. My uncle always gets a live tree every year. They cut off the stump when they take it down, and then we burn it in the fireplace when we put up the next tree. It's a little thing, but I cut my first stump off of my tree this year with my family, and look forward to carrying on that tradition to the next generation. Also, my grandma had a Noel candle set, with each letter being its own candle holder. We would change it to Leon every time we could, and she would always get mad and change it back. We never stopped. Sadly, she's no longer with us, so we do this to my mom now that she has a similar holder, and she gets frustrated when we do it, even though she used to be in on it with my grandma. My grandma passing away is not related to this tradition in any way. We don't do presents for adults, only kids. No pressure, no disappointments, no useless gifts. It was my wife's culture, and I love it. I always hated to spend money I don't at buying gifts they don't need, making sure to spend enough to give a gift of similar value I'd receive, etc. Now it's simple, everybody knows we don't do gifts, and it's spreading in the family on both sides. More money for a delicious dinner, no financial stress at the end of the year when we need our savings the most. We are also transparent with our kid, 2 years old, that Santa is like Emma Wiggle, just a character in disguise, not a real magical being who is able to enter his home anytime he wants to, but he needs to keep it a secret because the others' kids don't know it. We don't want to teach him that magic is real, we'd rather he doesn't learn to interpret the world with magic as an explanation for things he doesn't understand yet. In our home, Christmas is about family time, not magical beings or obligations to purchase/exchange things. Ever since my husband and I dated 13 years ago, we have driven around on Christmas Eve to look at lights. We have kids and we like to get into our pajamas, parade into a Turkey Hill for hot chocolate, probably just make our own this year, and candy, and then drive around. Then we come home and put cookies and milk out for Santa, and I read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," which I read to my belly with our first child. I'm going to miss when they stop believing, but I hope we can always go look at the lights. Our tradition is my 2 brothers and I waking up early and going into my parents' room to unpack our Christmas stockings on their bed. Ever since I can remember, we've always hung out an empty stocking on the bedroom door handle, And in the morning it has been magically filled, by Santa, OFC. Obviously when we were younger we'd all sit on the bed with them, but now we bring chairs into their room. I'm 24 now and we continue to do this every year.